Imagine a world long before our own, a time when colossal giants roamed the earth. This was the Mesozoic era, the age of dinosaurs, but hidden in the shadows of these magnificent beasts, a revolution was quietly brewing. Our story doesn't begin with the thunderous footsteps of a T-Rex, but with the silent, cautious movements of a creature no bigger than a shrew. This is the story of our earliest ancestors, the unsung heroes who paved the way for the age of mammals. For millions of years, dinosaurs dominated every corner of the globe. They were the undisputed kings, the apex predators, the rulers of land, sea, and sky. In T's world, our mammal ancestors were small, often nocturnal, and lived a life of constant vigilance. To survive, they had to be smarter, faster, and more resourceful than the giants that towered over them. They couldn't compete with brute strength, so they competed with brain power. And their greatest advantage was a revolutionary new strategy, a bold act of defiance against the ruling dynasty. They started to steal eggs. Now, when we think of dinosaurs, we often picture the massive herbivores or terrifying carnivores like the raptors, part of the Dinosaur family, were particularly formidable. They were intelligent, agile, and hunted in packs. They were the perfect predators. But even the perfect predator has a weakness: their nests left unattended. Even for a moment, a nest full of eggs was a treasure trove of high-energy food, a golden opportunity for any small creature brave enough to seize it. And our early mammal ancestors were nothing if not brave. Let's meet one of these pioneers. Picture a creature like Zalambdalestes. It's small, covered in fur, with a long snout perfect for sniffing out hidden treasures, and large eyes adapted for seeing in the dim light of dawn and dusk. It wasn't a fighter. It couldn't possibly take on a fully grown raptor, but it had a secret weapon: intelligence and opportunism. It watched, it learned, and it waited. Our little mammal would observe the raptor parents from a safe distance, hidden in the dense undergrowth of ferns and cycads. It learned their routines. It knew when the parents left the nest to hunt, how long they were typically gone, and the paths they took. This wasn't just random chance, it was calculated espionage. Every movement was a risk, but the reward was survival, not just for itself, but for its own young. The moment of truth would come when the coast was clear. The parent raptor, perhaps a Utahraptor or a Deinonychus, would leave the nest in search of its next meal. That was the signal. With heart pounding, our furry protagonist would dart from its hiding place, a blur of motion against the forest floor. Speed was essential. It had to get in, grab its prize, and get out before the parent returned. Its sensitive nose would lead it directly to the nest, a carefully constructed mound of dirt and vegetation. Inside lay the clutch of eggs. These weren't like chicken eggs. They were larger, with a tough, leathery shell. But our mammal had another adaptation: sharp, specialized teeth, perfect for piercing and cracking those shells. It would grab an egg, which was likely almost as big as its own head, and scurry back to the safety of its burrow. This was no easy feat. Running with a large, oblong egg required incredible balance and strength. Back in its den, it would crack open the shell and feast on the rich, nutritious yolk inside. This single meal could provide enough energy to last 4 days, fueling its high metabolism and allowing it to thrive in a world designed for giants. This act of nest raiding was more than just a meal. It was a critical turning point in the history of life on Earth. Every egg that was eaten was one less raptor to patrol the prehistoric landscape. While a single mammal stealing a single egg might seem insignificant, multiply that by thousands of mammals over millions of years. This constant, low-level pressure on dinosaur populations, especially the smaller predators, was a relentless war of attrition. The mammals were chipping away at the foundation of the dinosaurs' empire. They weren't just surviving, they were actively shaping their environment. This strategy exploited a key vulnerability in the dinosaur life cycle. Dinosaurs, for all their power, relied on laying eggs and leaving them, at least periodically, unguarded. Mammals, on the other hand, were developing a different approach, giving birth to live young and nurturing them intensely. This gave mammalian offspring a much higher chance of survival from the very start. Think about it from the raptor's perspective. They were facing threats from all sides. Larger dinosaurs might prey on them. And now, these tiny, furry creatures were threatening their very next generation. They would have had to become even more vigilant, spending more time guarding their nests and less time hunting. This, in turn, could impact their own health and ability to survive. It was a brilliant, indirect form of competition. This wasn't just happening with raptors. The nests of all kinds of dinosaurs were potential targets, from the massive sauropods to the armored ankylosaurs. If a nest was left unguarded, you can bet a hungry mammal was watching from the sidelines, waiting for its chance. They were the silent thieves of the Cretaceous, the saboteurs in the shadows. This relentless pressure had a profound evolutionary effect. It drove mammals to become even more specialized. Some developed better digging abilities to create more secure burrows. Others evolved sharper senses to better detect predators and locate nests. Their brains grew larger and more complex, honing the problem-solving skills needed for these high-stakes heists. They were locked in an evolutionary arms race, and the mammals were constantly innovating. Then, 66 million years ago, the world changed forever. A massive asteroid, 6 miles wide, slammed into the planet, triggering a global catastrophe. The sky went dark, temperatures plummeted, and the world was plunged into a cosmic winter. The great dinosaurs, the titans that had ruled for over 150 million years, couldn't adapt. Their food sources vanished, and their massive bodies couldn't cope with the harsh new reality. But the small, resourceful mammals, they were uniquely prepared for this apocalypse. Their small bodies required less food. They could shelter in their burrows, protected from the worst of the fallout. And their diet, which included everything from insects to seeds to, yes, dinosaur eggs, was incredibly flexible. When the big game disappeared, they found other things to eat, the very traits that helped them survive in the shadows of the dinosaurs their small size. Their intelligence, their adaptability, became the keys to their survival and eventual triumph. When the dust settled and the sun finally broke through the clouds again, the world was empty. The giants were gone. And who was left to inherit the earth? Our ancestors, the small, shrew-like creatures that once trembled in fear of dinosaurs, emerged from their burrows into a new world. A world of opportunity. The age of dinosaurs was over, and the age of mammals had begun. From these humble, egg-stealing beginnings, mammals diversified into the incredible array of life we see today. From the whales in the ocean to the bats in the sky. From the lions on the savannah to you and me, watching this video right now. So, the next time you see a picture of a mighty T-Rex or a clever velociraptor, remember the small, furry creatures darting between their feet. They were the underdogs, the survivors, the architects of our own world, who proved that sometimes the smartest, not the strongest, win the evolutionary race. Their story is our story, a testament to the power of intelligence, adaptability, and the courage to steal an egg from a sleeping dragon. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this journey back in time as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about the incredible history of life on our planet. Let me know in the comments what prehistoric topic you'd like to see next. See you in the next video.